St. Paul taught us this. And not only that, but we also boast in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us. Dear friends, welcome to Fully Alive with Irene. These particular verses reminded me so much of how God has prepared me to face my journey of healing. Really has prepared me to face this mighty cross of mine, which is the cross of chronic illness. I remember in part of my coaching training, we have an exercise that divide our lives into sections of 8. So for example, if you're 40 years old, you divide it by 8, and so there'll be 5 in each section. So from age 0 to 5, and so forth and so on. And we were invited to look at each section, these significant events that happens those time, and to see that our life comes in there's some good thread in our life. It's not disconnected. The events that happen to us would have formed us, would have changed us, would have helped us to be who we are today. And I remember the most significant one that I see was my baptism. When I was baptized into the faith, my life began to make sense, because that is the beginning of my new life. And me being me, I'm the one who would like to charge forward, want to seek, want to go deeper. That has eventually led me to say yes to mission, to want to be in mission. One of the things that became the challenges that formed me was actually living in community. When we live in community, you bring with you your strength, your beauty, the best side of you, as well as the not so beautiful part of you. Yeah, the ugly part, the brokenness that you bring in. And many a times we are not aware. I wasn't aware of the things that I bring in with me. I wasn't aware of how my attitude, sometimes my projection, would have hurt somebody else. And so community life was not exactly easy for me, especially with my character. Sometimes I don't really filter my word. I say things as it is, and some people find it offensive. And then there were a lot of things that we need to work on, We're all on the journey to holiness. That's the reality. And there are many times it's not that pleasant. And there are times where hurtful words has been spoken to me that was really, really difficult. Yeah, I remember once when a very difficult incident that happened. I called my mom and I was like, wow, at the point of tear, because I really wanted some comfort at the time. And my mom said, remember what I told you before you fly off? You're always welcome to come home, This is for you, but I know you know what to do. I know I'm confident in you. So that was very comforting, knowing that there's always a place to come home. But me being me, I'm also quite stubborn. If I begin something, I want to end it. And I'm the type of person, if I enter into something well, like a job, for example, I want to leave it well. I come in good terms, I want to live in good terms. And driven by that attitude, that part of me, I was determined at the time to say, I'm going to complete my formation, and I am going to complete my formation being in good terms with everybody, even those who hurt me very deeply, Yeah, because the Lord also revealed to me in one of the times where I was challenged to serve someone who I have a lot of difficulty with, And in time of prayer, when I was complaining, I sensed God was asking me, can you imagine heaven without this person? I was like, no, I absolutely want heaven with this person, That changed my attitude. It was like, wow, there's something on my side that needs to change. and it breaks me. In a sense, it was not the easiest part to admit that I am also responsible for that breaking of that relationship. Yeah, I need to swallow some humble pies at that time. It was dry, it's not very tasty back then. But it's humbling, it is also forming, it is so beautiful, and it taught me how to endure with love, how to persevere with love. So it becomes a map where I bring with me in my marriage, and especially in the journey of healing, where things can be really, really tough. When there are days where, well, there were days when I can't lift up my neck because as part of myasthenia gravis can be that bad, no? Especially during a flare, that you can, the symptoms can go to the way that I don't even have enough strength to lift up my neck. I can't tie my hair. Those days were the days where the strength of endurance, the encouragement from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans helped me through it. And I remember those formative days, years in the mission that helps me and prepare me to where I am at this moment. So dear friends, if you look into your life, are there any significant events that is shaping you, that is forming you? Are you going through a time where it is hard, it's painful, I would say? Could there be blessings in disguise? Could God be preparing you for something greater? So I wish you all the grace that you need to conquer, to face, and to be able to be that light of Christ.